Barn 5. Barn 5. Hello and welcome back to SRL360. We're live here for the season 6 of the SRL season, episode 2. Matty Oliver with on the box hot seat here with me tonight. Timothy James from the Raiders and Tyrone Clay from the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Tim, welcome back first of all, and Tyrone Clay, welcome back to the podcast, guys.
Yes, thank you for having me back on SRL360 after leaving for a little bit, but it's good to be back on the panel with you new gentlemen. So let's go.
Oh, it's amazing to be back. Also, Jilly sends his apologies for this evening not being able to be on the podcast, be on SR360, just due to reasons which will, as the week unfolds, he'll express out to the community. But first of all, guys, we're going to be starting off here with. I'm actually just going to stop sharing my screen first. We'll start off with talking about the expression. We'll start off by talking about sort of captaincy stuff at the start of the episode here. And Lachlan Martin the SRL commissioner, released a captaincy expression of interest form, which was released today to the public on League Alerts or League Content 1 to 2. What are your sort of opinions on that? We'll start off with you, Tim.
Well, obviously this does mean, in most cases, Lachlan usually releases this when a new team's coming in. So my guess is, there's a new team coming to the SRL, and I guess he put it out there to see who's really worthy of captaincy, because you can't really put dumb people. No offense, but you can't put dumb people into captaincy because they can't do it all. So my guess is he's looking for good captains to take over maybe multiple teams for the upcoming seasons. So that's just my guess, but yeah. What do you reckon?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with what Tim said. Normally when Lachlan does these type of things, he's normally adding a new team, so that's what I think is happening.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, my sort of opinion on it, it's sort of for the staff of the SRL to get a sort of general feeling on who's first of all interested.
Mm.
It's an expression form of interest form for a reason, but also at the same time, those answers to those questions are vital because we need to know what sort of group of people are out there that are confident in taking over a captaincy, but also at the same time having the time and also effort to put in. Because as I was sort of talking about it with Tim and Nicole earlier, captaincy is only as hard as you set the task upon yourself to take it seriously. Well, I was talking with Tim about that a few nights ago, and
Mm.
it's on you as a person to decide how hard it's going to be, and also just depends on the situation that the club is in. So if it's a brand new club, well, you're going to have to be doing a full rebuild. Will Kay knows how to do it, and he's gotten the Storm there this season. Again, we'll be moving on with captaincies. The announcement of myself as captain and Justin Monkey, vice captain of the Brisbane Broncos for season 7.
Mm.
Tim, your thoughts on both these announcements, and how do you think that they'll both go in these positions?
Yeah, exceptional announcements actually for our captaincy. I reckon Eddie, you and Monkey, I think you both are probably the fit for the job. I'm guessing you're a part of the leadership group up at Broncos, Eddie. Yeah,
Definitely.
so
Not like he
yeah,
plays for
definitely.
power right now. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, my bad. It's been a long night. But I mean, Monkey is probably in the leadership group up there, and so I guess I would have thought he would take over captaincy considering he's there right now. But to see you jump ship from a different team to captaincy at the Broncos is pretty crazy. But I'm guessing Jack thought you're the best for the job or something like that because you were there last season.
Yeah, no.
Eddie. Yeah.
It was in the plans for a while, and also we did have to discuss it with the contract that I'm with at the Eels at the moment, just so
Mm.
Luke Short knew I'm only going to be there for a season. He knew what was going on, of course. He had to keep the secret as well, and also a few others. And also in the leadership group will be joining me is Justin, and then also Allo. I'm not going to be getting rid of him. He's vice captain at the moment, and he's staying around. And also Lachlan Martin will be on there as well with us
Mm.
for season
Yeah.
7. Justin, well, he's a world class. The way that he's able to go about with the stat sheets is absolutely amazing. I'd put him up there with Ollie Parche, just the ability that he has with him, and all those Google spreadsheets that the SRL moved to from memory. Justin made those, and Lockie asked him to use them. So I'm in a good place with him there. Clay, any thoughts before we move on?
I mostly agree. I like that you're the captain. I just think you're like a person that doesn't mess around. You'll be very honest,
Mm.
hard hitting stuff.
Is it just? I've got a question. Like, how come Jack is just so like already leaving captaincy? Is it something he can't do along with Mines Commissioner, or is it just like what's the go?
Well, he's been doing it. This is his second or third season now, I think. Third season as Broncos captain, and I think it's not more due to workload, but also school because the
Yeah.
so SRL season 7 will be starting late this year, I believe it will be, or early next year, and he just doesn't want the pressure of having to sign people over the off season and all of that stuff. Trying to build up a team for season 7 with school because externals are happening and all of that stuff. And also, he just wants to take a step back. He's doing commissioner at the moment, so that's going to be a heavy workload. And also, I believe in season 7 he'll be a lot more involved with the SRL, like the recording of games as well. So Lockie isn't all on top of it, and as long as myself. But with both of those things, there's just lots of little different areas of that all come up into this one thing that Jack's doing at the moment. And in the end, it's just a bit too much, and he's left something just off the chain, off the key ring for season 7 for me and Justin to take up on, and we'll be hoping to go all the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully. Well, not hopefully you guys go all the way because that'd be good for Canberra. But it's good to see you in captaincy, and I wish you all the best, Eddie.
Definitely. And moving on, sort of a little side topic. The closure of Playmade content, guys, to all Minds and rookie players.
Yeah.
We had Lee Simon on the podcast yesterday, and I brought him on just to apologize to the general community. But Considering Tim and Tyrone, you've both been in the SRL for a long period of time. You know what player-made content is about. You know the stuff that's been there previously, and you're the players that came around that really built up the community and the awareness of what it's for. Your thoughts
Yeah.
on it?
Yeah. Look, I don't know what happened. I remember the first Playmade content post was Will K. He did that little edit of himself in the lower grades, and I thought that was like something that we'd be seeing more often in Playmade content. But instead, as the months went by and stuff, more people came in, didn't understand the rules in there, and they just started like posting just random stuff in there, and it just sort of doesn't fit well in the SRL. And I don't know what happened a few nights ago, but I think it might have been Lachlan's final go, and he just said, "Nah, I'm done with this," and closed it for the rookies. But look, I don't know what happened a few nights ago, but it must have been something pretty, what's the word?
Serious.
Pretty serious, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty serious. But I don't know. What do you reckon, Tyrone?
I think the exact same. I think just so many people have been saying things that haven't been SRL related. And I think, like last night and all of those, I think it got taken one step too far, and Lachlan had enough.
What was it? Is it the beer stuff?
Just
Wasn't it the beer?
before we answer that, I've got a question in the chat here. Riley Murray. How desperate were you guys to bring Tim James in? Well, I'll answer this one because we aren't desperate at all. I've been talking to Tim personally for a few days now, and I've just been, seeing how he's going with this sort of stuff. And yes, he did get kicked out in episode 1, and there was a bit of controversy about it, but honestly, Tim actually does put his mind to things when he wants to do it. And this is something that he really takes seriously because it's his voice against literally the rest of the SRL. And he's got a point to say. I respect his points. Clay does. Other people of the community do, I'm sure. Everybody has their opinion, and Tim's is a pretty strong one. We love to have Tim here. That's all I have to say.
It's got another question from Josh Sup here. Says here, hey Tim James, good question. How's it going, mate? Yeah, it's going pretty good, Josh stuff. Thanks for asking, mate.
Beautiful stuff. And we're talking about why Lockie's reasoning for closing Playmate content. And I'm sure you guys have noticed there are heaps of warnings with over the probably week or two that this sort of stuff started, and Lockie's going, please make it relevant, all that stuff. I could go back and search up. There's probably 3 or 4 warnings in 2 weeks.
Oh, way more.
Yeah,
more.
there's probably
more
more.
than that.
There's probably heaps more. And a commissioner shouldn't have to do that. Like, it's for the players. And it's a big part of the community. Like, it gives players to express their sort of own opinions and their sort of creativity about the SRL to the community itself without having to go onto YouTube or any of that stuff. And, we use it for podcasts. Thankfully, Lockie gave everybody the ability to DM him and go, hey, if you still want to post here, please DM me directly, and I'll see if I can trust you or not. Luckily, I was able to because I'm a rookie still, and so I'm able to put this stuff here and also into the Minds podcast and all that. But your thoughts on just... You have to be brutally honest to the community. Like, Lockie gave the Minds players and rookies a real good shot before he did this.
Yeah, a few months ago, I remember I probably posted something, and then everyone else started posting and saying some stuff, and then Lachlan just started saying that he's going to hand out strikes if you just stop being put out. People still decide to ignore it and still go on. So I'm like, how come people aren't listening enough? Is it just like a community problem, or like,
yeah, definitely,
do they just not take it serious?
I think that it's not a community problem. It's just it's a wide group of individuals that just aren't taking it seriously, and they're just not respecting it. Clay, your thoughts on just how do you feel about it closing?
It's obviously you want everyone to have a voice and everything, but 95% of people follow these rules and don't post anything. It's non-relevant, but it only takes that small amount of people to just ruin it for everyone else.
Yeah, no, it definitely can, and a small group of people. Tim, you got something to say? Oh, actually, we do have a question. Another one from Riley Murray. Tim, will you be going to the Dogs next season? So, as a vice captain?
No. I'm enjoying my spot. at Raiders, and especially with him being there, I don't think I want to be there. So yeah, I'm not going Dogs. Sorry.
I reckon we'll move on now to talking about the SRL ladder. We'll just have a quick look at it. I've got it pulled up on screen here. I'll read it out to you. Actually, I'll take a quick screenshot so you boys are able to see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll put that in episode planning, whatever. So just like a quick general idea of what the ladder's looking like at the moment and all of that stuff. You've got the I'll just do the top two real quick. North Queensland Cowboys and Manly Seagulls at top. Any surprises there?
Not really.
Not really at all.
No, that's fair. No surprises. Both teams coming away with their first 2 wins. For and against, Manly only 12. Could that become a bit dangerous coming towards mid and towards the pointy end of the season?
100%. 100% it can. If they lose a couple 50-50 matches, then it could turn against them really hard.
Tim, do you reckon with the loss of Will Kay for the Manly side, their attack is sort of a bit wayward and not usually as what we expect?
Look, Will Kay, you know what? Yeah, maybe, but I feel like it's Manly. Like they're resilient. They're a really resilient team, so they can just bring up another half to fit in for Will Kay. So I don't think Will Kay's much of a loss for them, as they can just replace him easily with someone else.
Yeah, definitely. And I know this week KCK will be starting there in the number 6 position for the battle of Brookvale, which we'll be getting to very shortly. Moving on to the Knights at 3rd. Wow, you and me specifically, Clay, we were giving it to them in that first episode of SRL360. Parramatta 4th. Well, I'll start with Newcastle. How surprised are both of you boys to see them this high up in the ladder, especially this early in the season?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. The Knights made you guys eat your words, pretty much. You guys were all talking down on them, and then they just, said, nah, stuff this stuff. And then just, came out firing that first game. But then that second game was just, it looked like the season 5 Knights. What happened there?
Definitely. What happened? That's what I said. But, unfortunately, we'll be talking about the games later. They weren't able to back it up the week after. They did get close in some points, the Knights. The Eels, I don't know, sort of similar. Because they really took it to you guys in the round 1 game against the Raiders, didn't they, Tim? And it was only really 2 points the difference. But then Clay, against the Storm, winning, I believe it was 34 points to 14.
I think it was 32-14.
32-14. What were your thoughts on that game? How do you think the Eels handled themselves?
Eels are just... Sorry, Tyrone, you can go. I've talked too much. Oh, okay. Eels have handled themselves pretty well. They're looking much more better than they were last season with, they've got great players around them now, you got Eddie Oliver, Riker Manu, and Cody Ogg, they're just, there's something's changed in their attitude, and they're much more better now, and that Eels game, the last one, Eels v Storm, it just, I don't know, I thought the Storm were gonna just blow Eels out of the park, and then just, what happened there?
Yeah.
Eels looked like a completely different team, coming out firing Riker Manu straight through the line, cutting down everybody, and then just, Storm get pumped. In that first game for Storm, they looked crazy. They beat the Broncos, and then they lose to the Eels.
Yeah, no,
what
definitely.
happened there?
Yeah, we don't know. Bit of iffy. I'm sure Will be looking to sort it out this week in the Battle of Brookvale. Clay, this is yours, brother. Melbourne Storm coming 5th at the moment. They're only at plus 8 points on the differential. They've won 1 out of their 2 games. They lost to the Eels, as we already mentioned. How big is this win for them at Brookie?
Oh, this win's massive for them at Brookie. Even if I still think this win's massive, but even if they don't win, they still, with the quality team that they have under Will Kay, they can still push up. But a win against Manly would just be huge for their season.
Yeah, a win against Manly in any other time is just huge.
They're the standard of the comp. That's where people would be.
and I'm saying that because I'm salty that we lost to them in the grand final. Like, if you beat them, like that means something for your team. Like, they're an insane team, but if you guys beat them, then like
It's huge.
something's going right. It's huge for you guys.
Yeah, also, Clay, I'll get you to do this one. South Sydney Rabbitohs coming six. Again, 1 from 2 points. Well, they're actually even for their for and against, 34-34. They're not the only team to do that. How are you feeling about going into that fullback position this week? Because the lineup's been shook a bit due to, I believe it's Dixon getting an injury last week.
Yeah, just gonna try and do my job, I reckon.
Do your
Playing
job.
the Warriors. I thought we were pretty unlucky. I thought we were unlucky against Manly to lose by 2 points.
Also, what do you think? Will any part of the attacking sort of side of the Rabbitohs change? Are you guys looking to do something differently? Because you're a complete different player to Dixon. How is Ryan looking to bring you onto the ball and just get the best out of you for that game?
Yeah. It's gonna be different to how we do things with Dixon. But hopefully by doing that it catches teams off guard and we can just try and roll them over.
Quick question here from Jai Stuff again. Thoughts on the M1 Derby? Do you guys know what the M1 Derby is?
It's
I believe the M1 Derby is the Eels versus Knights. Yeah, it is. Eels versus Knights. Yeah, so yeah, Tim, your thoughts on that? Being an Eels supporter in real life.
Oh, the Eels versus Knights game.
Yes.
Louis, it's two surprising teams going up against each other.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's just
It's unpredictable.
these two teams have surprised everybody. Like Knights first game smashed. What's he called?
Penrith.
Sorry, Penrith.
Yeah.
And then Eels beating bloody Melbourne Storm right after Melbourne beat Broncos. Like you don't know what to expect from these teams. They're like the Eels in real life. You don't know what to expect from them. So just something.
Clay?
No, nothing to say, man.
Nothing to say. Moving on. Now towards the bottom of the ladder, the Canberra Raiders. They always start a bit slow, the Raiders, even in real life and also in the SRL. Again, the other points, 28 all for and against. No, honestly, it's early in the season for the Raiders. They've shown glimpses. I've been doing sims as well. They can play footy. It's just if the sim on the night goes their way. Tim, what have the boys been talking about in camp coming up to this game against the Panthers? Grand final rematch this week as well, by the way.
Grand final rematch. Yeah, that's pretty new. Nah, it's the semi rematch, I think, Eddie. But yeah,
semi rematch. My apologies.
Yeah. Look, the boys. It's been mainly on all of getting our kicks right and stuff. Because Panthers, look, I hate to say it, but they're just something's not going right for them this season. Like they're not looking like they were last season. Like KCK led them boys around the park all the time. And now without KCK, like, what are they going to do? Like, they don't have much going on for them, and just... It was just looking to get everything right, like, keep the ball in our hands, and, like, keep possession up, no errors and all that.
Definitely.
So that's what you need, and just make sure that we're scoring tries. Like, last week was just a dour affair against the Rabbitohs. We were looking sloppy and all that, so we're just looking to get back up. And yeah.
Definitely. And at the bottom of the ladder, this is a massive surprise to me. The Brisbane Broncos. They've won one game, but Clay, at the moment, they're just really leaking points. -8 for and against.
Yeah. They look underwhelming, personally.
Like on paper, they look solid. But in my opinion, it's their bench where they're losing the battle.
Yeah, definitely. I think their bench is not as strong as the other teams in the competition.
I think they signed too much superstars, to be honest, Eddie. What do you reckon? I think they just got too much.
I don't think it's superstars. I think starting with Allo at 11 when he usually comes off on the bench at that 15 spot
Yeah.
is really like, I'm not taking anything away from Aloe. Like, he's playing solid. He's running over 100 meters, 120 meters, that second row spot. But they need him in the middle for that impact. With Lachlan Martin starting and Justin Monkey, like, that's solid. Like, that's honestly up there with the best top starting forward, Simon Hunt, in the comp. You take those two off, you bring a rookie on and Jake Scott. You can't expect Jake Scott to do anything, and he's no Jackson Allison in that 15 spot. We know what he can do. I honestly think they need to start probably Wilmot or Jake Scott and move Allison back to the bench and rework some stuff there up at the Broncos, because their bench at the moment is just not getting it done, and they need to bring some class off it. I know this because I'm talking about the Eels. We moved forward to the bench because we had to combat Daniel Punch and Ben Punch, the two brothers coming off the bench for the Storm. And yeah, you just need to have some class on the bench. No matter how good they are, you need something coming off. And the Broncos, in my eyes, just don't have that at the moment.
100%.
100% Indy. That's it. There's lacking bench, and that's what they needed. They signed too much, they got all these good players, but they forgot about the bench.
Yeah, that's what's in my eyes. They've had some bench players move up, but honestly, Aloe, his best spot is 15. It's called the Allison role. That's what it's come to be. That's how good he was from it. And also we'll be talking about, I should say, moving on, the up and coming games for the week. I'm just gonna pull it up here. I'll chuck a quick screenshot down there for you guys. It's going to be, the up-and-coming games for the week is, first of all, going to be starting with the opener over in Auckland at Mount Smart Stadium. The Auckland Warriors against your team, Clay, the Rabbitohs. How are the boys feeling about going across the ditch this week?
We feel good. We feel really good.
Yeah.
Hard to play the Warriors in New Zealand, so we're hoping we can get one over them.
That's it.
Tim, your sort of thoughts? Honestly, for the Warriors, they're going to have to pull something out the gun here, aren't they?
Yeah. The Warriors are an all right team, but I think Rabbitohs are the much better team, and I think it's gonna be hard for the Warriors to get over the Rabbits. But I think if it's to be a player to lead the Warriors, it's definitely gonna be Chance Buns. If they need a win, it's through him.
Yeah, and also, just before we keep going, I missed 2 spots on the ladder. Auckland Warriors coming 9th. Negative 24 and against. I'll just do these myself. They're looking for a win. Both these two teams at the bottom. They're going to need a win. And no offense to Clay, but they're missing Dixon out the back. Clay hasn't been there for a while. Could be a bit rusty. We don't know, brother, until the day. They'll be looking to take advantage. And, also, it's a very much more fitness-needed position. So they might get you on your bike with some long kicks there. The Warriors of Hugh Snow. And then also Penrith Panthers coming at last. Again, 0 wins. They need something. They need to pull something out of the bag here against the Warriors. And I reckon against the Raiders, sorry. And Tim, I reckon that they'll be going straight to you through the middle with their forwards.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised, but it's me, Jordan Lewis, just us in the middle. We can tackle, and I don't know if they're going to get through us, but...
Well, honestly, they're the one team that they have class, and they've put... Ollie Pache, he's 69 overall now, and he's coming off the bench. A 69 overall prop coming off of the bench at the 20th minute after you've already done heaps of tackling to Lennox and Lachlan Sinclair. Bro, if those forwards can fire up for the Penrith side, surely the backs can do some fancy work for them.
100%.
Either way, we'll move on. Oh, go on.
No, I was just saying, I'm intrigued by moving Cody Mansell back to fullback. They've obviously seen what he can do.
I was scared for Nathan Fisher to be a fullback, and there's a bit of relief now that Cody Mansell's at the back, but obviously he's still a good player, but to not have Nathan Fisher at the back's pretty weird. I thought he was the better option, but I guess Jacob's doing something. And
we're going to be moving back to where we just were. The up-and-coming games for round 3. It's the inaugural rivalry round here on SRL TV. It will be. The Manly Seagulls against the Melbourne Storm. Brookvale Oval. The Battle of Brookie. That'll be the 6 o'clock game there. And this could be, in my opinion, the game of the round, guys.
Yeah.
It could be. Honestly,
Um,
could.
especially both sides coming in with debutants. Trey Bonsakahu for the Melbourne Storm, and then also Lee Simon for the Manly Sea Eagles. You guys heard anything about them? Any thoughts on how much risk it is bringing rookies into such a game like this?
Look. I haven't seen Lee Simon or any these rookies play yet. I haven't had the time, but you know, obviously they have a plan for the Manly. They're a good team. They know what they're doing, so I wouldn't be surprised if Lee Simon is the one to be good for the Manly. Like it could be a plan. But I haven't seen him play yet, so I have to wait until this game to see.
Yeah.
And
I'd be.
yeah, go ahead, Clay.
I'd also, with both the rookies, I'd be interested to see where and how they play because obviously I'm the same as Tim. I haven't looked at it enough to be able to know. So it'd be interesting to see where they play and how well they play and if they can keep going at that level.
Yeah.
Definitely. And trying to find my train of thought. Yeah. I did a quick interview segment with Tim with Lee Simon, and he was talking about how Matty Harris wants him just to defend, and I think that's the sort of mindset that the Manly side are going to go in with to this game. If they can defend, if they can hold the Storm out, they've got a lot of attack. Corey Bell, Dylan Sharp, and Blake Harris. Blake Harris has shown that he can attack well out there in the centres, but in the six is a new position for him. They're going to go on the mindset defending and then hoping that their attack will come off the back end of that. So it starts off with the defense here for the Manly side. The Storm, well, we'll have to see if they can come back from the Eels loss. And also, interesting fact, in season 1, they only won one game, and it was against
The Parramatta Eels.
Yeah, against Parramatta Eels. So they haven't won one game against the Manly side. Are they going to be looking at that turnaround? We'll find out. And it'll be tomorrow, 6 p.m. Moving on now. North Queensland Cowboys, Brisbane Broncos. The Queensland Derby up there at 1300 Smile Stadium. The Queensland fans, Clay, they're going to be ripping into these Broncos, aren't they?
100%. It's always good to see both the Queensland teams match up against each other.
Yeah, it's great. Especially two great Queensland teams as well. Well, the only two, but they're both, good teams. Broncos slow start to the season. Cowboys have had a fiery start, 2-0. So they're looking to get over the Broncos probably. And I wouldn't be surprised if I probably see the Broncos winning this one. I don't know why, it's a gut feeling, but I think the Broncos are going to get it.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's always Queensland derbies. No matter how either sides are doing in the competition, it's always going to come up as one of the games of the season. Both sides get up for it. They want to just drill each other to the ground and want to get on top of either side of their opposition. It's going to be an amazing game to watch. I can't wait for it. I'm excited. Clay's excited. Tim is. I'm sure the SRL is. And here's the game. The next game after will be the 6 o'clock. The game that could go either way. The game that's got probably question marks all over it. Parramatta Eels against Newcastle Knights. The battle of the M1 derby at ANZ Stadium. So the home of the Parramatta Eels here on the SRL. It could go either way here, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Two weird teams this season. Knights winning their first game, losing their second. Eels losing their first game and winning their second. So, you never know what to expect from either of these teams. So, I'm going to go with the old team, Eels, to win this one. Thinking they're going to get it pretty comfortably, I believe. Probably through Raikamanu.
Definitely, Clay. Before we move on to you, quick question from Ruben Mobs. Who have you boys got tipped as the new team's captains? I'm going to reword this, and I'm going to say, who have you boys got tipped for potential players who could captain a side?
I personally,
who haven't captained a side yet as well.
I'm gonna throw one out there. I'm actually gonna say you, Tim. I think.
Yeah.
You have the qualities to be a good leader.
Yeah, some people say that. I had the opportunity to coach captain Raiders, but I let Jordan Lewis take over because I thought he was a better person than me. So, yeah, thanks, Tyrone. But
No worries.
I reckon who's the person? Maybe Liam Rogers. He's pretty active,
Yeah.
and he seems like he can
Yeah.
run a team, So I reckon Liam, maybe he can
And
probably run
yeah,
it.
definitely. And also a sort of quick query on that. You reckon that due to, well, after this, the form's got a couple of days, a few weeks to just clock over and get those things in. Do you reckon VCs, if it comes away with there not being enough sort of suitable candidates to captain, and if new teams do get added to the SRL in the upcoming seasons, do you reckon VCs are going to have to fade out so we have enough quality candidates to cover those sides?
Yeah,
Yeah, I reckon
100%.
100% Eddie. I reckon so. I
Um,
reckon he's gonna have to.
Yeah, also, I got texted this and I had to check it in SRL. Actually, we'll move on to that quick. We'll do that quickly just after we'll finish these games. The next game of the week, it's going to be the last one, will be the Parramatta Eels against the Canberra Raiders at Bluebet Stadium. That's the home there of the Penrith. Tim, you'll be off to the foot of the mountain this week. The late night game on Wednesday. Well, how are the boys warming up to the contest?
Nah, well, we've never lost to the Panthers, so we're trying to keep that streak alive.
Ooh.
Yeah, we've never lost, and the wins have been quite comfortable. I mean, the semis last year wasn't really, it's kind of close, but you know, we're hoping to keep that streak alive, and obviously, like I said before, we're just trying to kick around them and see what we can do, hold the ball, and I think we're going to get this win pretty easily.
Yeah, but the one thing that I have going for Penrith is they need to win. If
Yeah,
they
they got
don't
that
win this
attitude.
game,
They're going to
it's
be
gonna
they're
it's,
going to be
it's
on
gonna,
3.
they're gonna be
Yeah.
0-3 and most likely bottom of the comp still. It's gonna be not gonna
Hmm.
be good for them.
It's not going to look good for them, mate. Tell you that.
And talking about the game, Penrith. Well, they're gonna need to find something. Like honestly, this is finals like situation we're talking about. Like if you want to be in the finals, you need to start it now. You've had 2 games to warm up. You're a final side. They've been there before. They haven't gotten all the way, but they have to get there. They have to win this game. And Tim, I'm sure that the boys are ready for it over down in Canberra. But Penrith
Yeah,
could
we
fire here.
know
They're at
that.
home, the bottom of the mountain. The crowd's going to turn up. They know how important this game is, and they have to win.
Yeah, that's what we're like worried about, like how firing up they are going to be. At Bluebet at home, and they're just looking to win. So this could get ugly this game, but you know, I still think we're going to get it over the Panthers.
Definitely, I agree.
And we're going to be moving back to captain the Melbourne Storm, the new team in town, down there in Victoria, Melbourne. And there's sort of been a captaincy re-change up for the vice captains.
Mm.
Luke Malchus being dropped and coming in at the Storm for the new vice captain, Sonny Tyre. I checked this in SRL. Sonny Tyre does have the captaincy position. I'm not sure why they've been dropped. I'm going to put the question out to you there, boys. Any speculations? If anybody in the chat does know a bit more, feel free to type it in. It will be appreciated.
Yeah,
But over to you.
Probably inactivity, to be honest. Like, I guess Luke's a bit he's a bit he's a meat owner or something. So he spends more time on that than probably the SRL, to be honest. But look, if anyone else out there can replace him, it's Sonny. Sonny's very active, Sonny. So I reckon he's the main candidate and the well-deserved one as well.
yeah.
So good efforts.
100%
Before we get your point on it, Clay, Ash has said, I've heard Malchus is on the outer as a player swap.
Oh.
Everything can be shot up. That's one idea. There's heaps of ideas. Clay, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think partly it's to do with what Tim said. I think it's inactivity, and Will Kay, I think, is looking for like people that are active to help him as a vice captain. Like Sonny Ty is very active in the SRL. I think that's why he got it.
Tim, a question for you. I honestly would have expected. We've been talking about this as well, Tim, sort of, but honestly, I reckon surely Riley Murray would have been up there in the discussion
Oh, what's this for?
for taking over VC for the Melbourne Storm.
Ah, yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised if Riley got it, to be
Yeah, no,
honest. But
definitely here. But Sonny Tyre.
yeah,
Well, honestly, I do know the work that he does and the amount of
yeah,
Photoshop work that he's doing for the SRL. I've got no surprise that he's in there. He deserves it. Congratulations to you, Sonny Tyre. I'm sure Tim will give you a welcome to the captain's chat.
yeah, mate.
um, definitely. No, congratulations to you. We're all proud of you. The SRL is, and it's always good to have play. And Sonny Ty is just one of those hidden gems in the SRL. You know, he came back last season through the mines, won a premiership with Riley Murray for the Blue Tongues, and now he's up in the Melbourne Storm, starting number 9 position for them, and he's playing excellent footy.
Yeah, look, it would have been nice if Sonny didn't go away during the season 3 season. He used to play with me at the Raiders, and yeah, it's pretty disappointing losing him then, but I'm glad he's back, and he's looking to put himself back up there as one of the best. So yeah, it'd be pretty good to see how he goes.
You know, definitely. I'll be looking forward to see how he goes and all of that stuff. Again, congratulations to you, Sonny. Well done. Also, what else are we going to be talking about? Here we go. Any surprises? So it's been 2 rounds now. We missed the second due to not being able to do it, and we're sort of discussing if we're going to do SRL360 every 2 weeks or every week. More we'll be talking about as the week unfolds. But any surprises in the first 2 rounds that have really just gone wow? Like I did not expect that to happen. We'll go with you first, Tim, then Clay after.
I'm not surprised through this season, to be honest. It's pretty much how I expected it to play out. Maybe the Eels and the Knights. I'm surprised by them how okay they've been. And when I say okay, like they've been better than they were in the past few seasons. Oh well, for Eels, few seasons, Knights, last season, But I'm surprised by both of them how well they've managed themselves and how comfortably they won in their games as well. Like they were putting on points with ease. So I'm surprised by them. And yeah, that's pretty much how it is.
My team's talking about surprises up the ladder. I'm going to talk about surprises down the ladder. The Penrith Panthers. I'm surprised that I thought they'd be better than what they are, but this is just a new low, I think, for the Panthers.
Yeah.
Also, are you guys surprised about also Anthony McDonald talking in the chat? I'm surprised at home how many inactivities there have been. Like, I've only been here since season 5, and there was honestly the only shiftment that happened in size was either behavior or not really performing well. And season 6, I don't want to. There's so many clubs to name that have had so many inactive players. Knights is one, Manly's one. Melbourne's one. That's at least 3 that we can both say. But are you guys surprised with the amount of inactivity that is happening with our rookies? And is it something that is going to be really disturbing? Like, that could disrupt the up and coming draft.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why the rookies have all gone AFK. Inactive. I mean, this is. I don't know. It was such a good rookie draft as well last season, and then some of them, sort of just disappeared, and it's pretty disappointing to see that because they were such good players as well. So hopefully they end up coming back one day or something, but it's just disappointing to see how this goes down.
Clay, your thoughts on the rookies?
Yeah.
Do you think that surely there's enough in there for for Jack to be making, and by the end of well, I should say when the draft comes up, they would have developed enough to be ready for SRL in season 7.
And definitely there'd be enough for developing the SRL. The amount of new players that are coming in, plus the more experienced Mines players, then there'd definitely be enough players built up and ready for SRL action once the draft comes up.
Definitely. And also one bit of controversy at the Broncos, Joey Kelly not being at fullback, Brody Kennedy in the first 2 rounds. He's been solid. I'll give him that, but do you reckon that fullback is still that fullback spot at the Brisbane Broncos is still up for question?
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, Are they just forgetting how good Joey Kelly was last season? Or is it just like, not getting through them, like how good he was? Because he was one of the best there, and he's, hasn't bloody, like, they keep putting Brody Kennedy there. Like, what's the go with that?
Well,
Yeah,
Or something like,
I think
well,
it's something to do with within the club. I think.
definitely. Well, I've been watching both those games of where Joey and both Kennedy are performing. They're honestly, between them both, you'd expect somebody who wants a position to be performing. And Liam Rogers said something on the podcast in episode 1. Joey Kelly has the ability, has the will, has the body, the mindset, the ability. It's just if mentally he can find some form, because he's on the wing at the moment. He hasn't scored a try yet in this. It's been after 2 rounds. Line breaks is rare for him. Meterage is rare. Kennedy's making line breaks in that fullback spot. He's not really challenging it.
Yeah, I think currently Kennedy has that fullback
Yeah,
spot.
definitely.
mm,
But if Joey could start something up on the wing, then he could start coming back into question.
And also from Liam Cowboys, the use of Isaac Edwards at Manly.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna quickly pull up team lists of where he's at. Manly.
Centre.
Yeah, so he's at the center. He's in the centers at the moment. Originally, he was playing at 5'8" to begin with the season.
Yeah.
How do you think he's going to go? He's been going in there for the centers because they've been changing KCK and Edwards around at halftime. Starting there against the Storm, defensively, does that give you guys any question marks?
No, I don't
Not
think
really.
so. I think
Not
Isaac's
really.
a good
Well, he's a 5'8" moving out wide, and you talk about combinations, right? Defensively, playing with players. You learn how to read each other. What's their first instinct to go with? He's outside there with a new winger, with a new second rower. Is it going to be interesting defensive wise, like decisions, and also the lack of speed as well? Like, it's only 5 speed difference, but that is a lot, as we have seen in chase downs and all of that stuff in the SRL. Do you think that he's going to be getting stepped a lot, or is he going to be able to hold his own, Tim?
Probably hold his own, to be honest. I reckon he can do it. That's all I gotta say. I think he can do it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Question again. How do you think Dylan Murray is performing at the Knights? Laugh there from Tim James.
One second, boys. Well, you know, Dylan Murray.
He's out there in the
Oh,
centers.
he's their winger. Oh, the
Centers,
center.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. Don't know who that is. Sorry, I'm just gonna be honest.
Dylan
be
Murray,
honest.
he's sort of developing up with his stats, I reckon. I'm just gonna have a quick look at that as well.
Yeah.
If my internet's going to load, streaming's a bit slow. Yeah, so I believe he's a rookie, came in, because the Knights had to replace so many backs. I believe 4 out of their 5 in the backline. Yeah, so 4 people in the backline have been replaced for the Knights. And I think all it's going to come down to is just what Markley has got in them developing to their backs. Focusing on Dylan Murray, he's developing well at the moment. He's developing well. And I think he'll go well as the season goes on. He will only get better. And yeah, that's just my take. Clay, I presume you got nothing on it, but I'll just shoot it over to you.
I'm the same as you.
Time will tell.
Personally, I think he's also been slightly quiet, but that's because he's getting used to the SRL.
That's also a good thing as well. Like, I know you're not talking about quiet just performance-wise, but also on the chats. It's sort of good to keep your head down and just focus on your individual self while coming up in the system. Like, once you're out there, once people start saying, oh my, Mika Rashford type style, right? Oh my gosh, Mika Rashford came straight onto the scene, scored 3 tries. And,
That was crazy.
That's crazy. And Dylan Murray, he's just got his head down. He's doing the hard yards. And I'm sure Mark Lee is keeping an eye on all those rookie backs to make sure that they're doing the right thing by themselves, but also the club. And I'm sure that they'll develop very nicely into the seasons ahead.
Definitely.
So let me have a quick look. How we've been running 43 minutes. Yeah, we're going to be running a bit shorter tonight, just purely because I was not ready for this and I've thrown all this together last minute. Let's have a quick look. We'll give it another minute. Any questions for you guys in SRL chat before we finish off? Anything that you guys have for us? I might just go. I'll just run over the games that are coming up for the week ahead while that happens. So, the Tuesday evening at 5 p.m. will be the Auckland Warriors and South Sydney Rabbitohs over there at Mount Smart Stadium. Your general tips on that? Just who's going to take it away, guys?
I think my team, South Sydney Rabbits.
Tim?
Should
I don't know. It's a hard game.
Rabbits, Warriors.
Rabbits, definitely.
Rabbits. Okay, moving on. The second game, Battle of Brookvale, Manly Seagulls against Melbourne Storm. I'll go. Yeah, it's a tough one, but I reckon Manly's defense. That's the mindset that they're going in with. Clay.
Yeah, I also think Manly.
And then a cracker one on the Wednesday afternoon, 5 p.m. North Queensland Cowboys against Brisbane Broncos, 1300 Smile Stadium, North Queensland, the Queensland Derby. I'm going to go Broncos for a very tough, gritty win, but close.
I actually agree. I think Brisbane will come up.
Brisbane win probably.
And then straight after that, we're going to be going down the M1, matter of fact, for the M1 Derby. Parramatta Eels against Newcastle Knights at ANZ Stadium. Para at home, I'm going to be the biased and take them as favourites. Newcastle, honestly think if Para can get on top early, the Newcastle Knights won't have the resilience to bring it back. So if it's, let's say it's first 25 minutes in, it's 16, 18 plus points. Newcastle won't be able to pull it back. Your thoughts? Who are you tipping for that one?
I'm also tipping on the Eels.
Eels, definitely.
Eels, and then for the last game of the evening at the foot of the mountain at Penrith Bluebet Stadium, it's the Panthers against the Raiders coming up away from home. It's going to be a tough game. I just haven't seen enough from Penrith this season to take it all the way. The Raiders, they've shown glimpses, and I'm sure Tim will be running up and just screaming at the boys to be putting in an 80-minute performance here to set a statement to the competition. They've been iffy the first two rounds, but this is a chance for them just to throw those doubts out the window. I'm going Raiders.
Same.
Yeah, Raiders 13 plus.
Definitely Raiders. Probably. And are there any questions? No, I don't think that there will be.
No.
Been running for about 50 minutes now, so that's a good way to finish off. 52, matter of fact. So, thank you very much for everybody joining me on SRL360 here this evening. It's my first time doing it. Very rare occurrence. Jack Carr will definitely be back for episode 3. We all want him to. He's such an amazing bloke. Unfortunately, wasn't able to make it here this evening due to personal reasons. Joined here by Tim, James, Tyrone, Clay. Thank you, boys, for showing up last minute, especially at Tim. Solid effort as usual. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having me back on.
Thank you guys for joining us in SRL360. We'll see you in the up and coming weeks, possibly the next or after at 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Until then, enjoy your evening. Thank you for coming around, and we shall see you in the next one. Bonfire.